If you already were working in marketing, so probably you did not need an MBA. Three are the regular functional specializations, which are finance, marketing, operations, but they also have few core specializations which are very industry relevant, which are the roles that you want to get into, which are consulting, data science, business analytics, and product management.
That's something that Great Lakes is already doing, right? They're evaluating your industry preparedness, they identify, and then they are trimming the course according to the requirements.
I think a lot of people get scared as soon as you listen to AI. AI is not something to be scared of, it is actually a resource, and how you should use this resource is actually very simple. So I think what I like about the course here is that it is very industry ready, in the sense that I know 5 years from now these are the skills that are going to be valued, and somebody who does not have knowledge in that area is also able to upskill themselves to stay relevant.
Hustling is what we do. So there is no regular format that I wake up 6 a.m. in the morning. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe you might be working till 4 a.m. for an assignment submission, and then you have to be in class for an 8:30 session. So hustling is something that happens here because it's a fast track program.
दोस्तों आज मैं हूँ चेन्नई में. It's a beautiful city and I'm in a beautiful college in Chennai, which is probably the best college, B school in Chennai, if not one of the best. It's Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai. In this video today, I'm going to cover their PGPM program. काफ़ी established, इनका सबसे पुराना प्रोग्राम है, और हम इस वीडियो में कुछ नया करने वाले हैं. क्या करने वाले हैं मैं बताता हूँ आपको. दोस्तों, so what we're going to do is we're going to cover their PGPM program in detail. ये 20 साल से अराउंड मार्केट में है और हमेशा से ही ये काफ़ी न्यू रहा है, इंडस्ट्री रेलेवेंट रहा है. अभी इसमें एक और नया चेंज आया है. नाउ इट्स ऑफरिंग समथिंग कॉल्ड PGP 2.0 प्रोग्राम, जिसमें आप काफ़ी कुछ नया सीखते हो जो आज के डेट में इंडस्ट्री में नेसेसरी है. देयर आर 7 स्पेशलाइजेशंस इन दिस प्रोग्राम, और ज़्यादातर हमारे पास क्या स्पेशलाइजेशन होता है, मार्केटिंग होता है, फाइनेंस होता है, HR होता है, ऑपरेशंस होता है, बट इसमें कुछ नए नए स्पेशलाइजेशंस है. क्या क्या है मैं अभी नहीं बताऊँगा. आई हैव गॉट होल्ड ऑफ 3 स्टूडेंट्स हु जॉइन ग्रेट लेक्स PGPM प्रोग्राम. उनके साथ हम पॉडकास्ट करेंगे और वो लोग बताएंगे why have they chosen to study at Great Lakes, कैसा उनका करिकुलम चल रहा है, क्या करिकुलम है, how are the placements, what kind of roles do they expect, कैसे प्रिपेयर करें प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए. ये सारी चीज़ें हम डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे. सो स्टे ट्यून्ड एंड लेट्स वॉच द पॉडकास्ट. Guys, today I'm sitting at Great Lakes, Chennai with a few PGPM students. As I said in the introduction, Great Lakes, Chennai has launched a very new industry relevant course, which is PGPM 2.0. We're going to talk about this in detail at length with all these students. But I'll also introduce them to you. They have some great work ex on their belt. One of them has worked abroad. One of them is from a very known company in India. So Vivesta, he's worked in Amazon for more than 4 years, and then he's joined Great Lakes, Chennai. We have Ashar. He has worked in Nebraska in the United States for around 3 years, and he's come to India to do an MBA at Great Lakes, Chennai, which is a testament to the college actually. And we have Raksha. She's worked in marketing as a growth marketing manager. This is a role which is offered after an MBA to B school students, but she did that, and now she's come to the college to do an MBA. So we're going to talk about their experiences, of course, pre-MBA work experience, about their experience right now in the institute, what are the future plans, how this PGPM 2.0 is helping them, and what all you can gain from Great Lakes, if you join Great Lakes Institute for the PGPM program. So now, Esther, first of all, could you tell all of us what made you join Great Lakes, Chennai after working in Amazon?
So I think I'll have to give you some context. So I worked for Amazon in a product team. It was called as Customer Trust, and we were dedicated to fraud and abuse. So I was working there for 4 years. I was quite tenured in the system, and I was looking for a growth trajectory there, which was in product. So that's something that I wanted to pursue. And I actually worked with some really good leaders, and they kind of introduced me to the idea of upskilling yourself from a B school program. So considering my tenurity, and considering that I want to get back to the industry as soon as possible, because I didn't want to go for a 2-year program. So I had preferred going for a 1-year program. And I had shortlisted some schools, and Great Lakes featured top notch. And one thing that I'll add to it is that for Great Lakes, the PGPM program is flagship. So the entire school is based out of this program. So I would want to go to a program which is offering you their best, and that's what brought me here.
Perfect. Could you tell us about your journey? Which exams did you take and around what percentage did you score, if you want to share?
Okay, there were two exams that I've looked into. One is the GMAT score. I got around 620, which is a reasonable score. But then the exam that actually got me here was the XAT exam. So I got around 92%, right? And yeah.
Perfect.
So for me, again, the entire journey of going through the preparation for the exam itself was upskilling, because I could see that while I was preparing, I was upskilling my critical thinking abilities. So that's also something that I added on. So I wanted to take that journey of preparing for a competitive exam, upskilling yourself in that journey, getting into a B school, and then turning your entire career graph. So that's something that I was looking for.
Perfect. So you took the ZAT?
Yes, I took the XAT exam.
Okay, and you scored 92%.
92%.
So one question, and this is open to all of you, and because you also want to touch the admission process. So how much of weightage is given to the profile, and how much is given to the score? How is the admission process like? Like, what do you think is needed to get admission into Great Lakes? So people who want to get admission here.
I think profile plays a very critical role in your selection process. Even if you have a great score and you don't do well, I don't think you would make it here. And with just decent scores and a really great profile and a really great interview process, I think you have a great shot at making it to the university college program. So I would put it at around. Like give it importance.
Basically, emphasis on the profile. Great. Right. And great that you talked about it, because you yourself have some great diverse work experiences, what I would put it. Could you talk about that, and why did you choose Great Lakes?
Of course. So I come from civil engineering background. So I chose MBA because after my undergraduate studies, the work that I was doing, my next promotion would lead me to a managerial role. And I spoke to some friends and some people who had chosen to do their masters right after the undergraduate, and some people who did their work like I did, and some people who did MBA instead of masters in civil engineering. And from what I spoke to them about, I came to the decision that doing a master's in business or an MBA is a much better option, because it gives you more, it opens up more domains for you instead of just being able to work in a civil field. So I chose to do an MBA. When I came back home, because it was about time, I had spent a lot of time outside. Here I started prepping for CAT, and I also looked at colleges that I could attend at the same time. I wanted to do a 1-year program because I didn't want to waste time doing a 2-year. I felt like from what I heard from people, a lot of stuff at 2-year programs are very relaxed. So 1 year really appealed to me given my age and everything as well. Great Lakes stood out to me, seemed like a good fit. So I went ahead and said yes.
Okay. Which exam did you take?
I took the CAT and the ZAT, but I got my CAT results. So I knew for sure that I'll be going ahead with like my CAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Raksha, tell us about yourself. You already were working in marketing, so probably you did not need an MBA. So tell us, why did you feel when you answer this that Great Lakes could do justice to one more educational stint in your life?
Sure. So I actually started my career in marketing at Red Bull part-time. So I was working at Red Bull part-time for about 3 years during my engineering itself. So post that, I got into, traditionally an engineer would get into something a little more technical, but I got into a little more of an open role at a consulting firm. So I took on different roles there to ensure that I get a strong foundation in marketing and branding. Right?
Great.
And I then pivoted to growth marketing at Licious, which is the D2C.
What is growth marketing? Just so that some viewers could know.
So growth marketing essentially is, it is a part of marketing, but it is a lever which is a little more focused on quantitative aspects more than qualitative aspects. So brand marketing would be the more qualitative side of it, when you're chasing certain metrics and it's very driven by experiments and you're focusing on, for example, conversion or retention, those kind of things. So that is essentially growth marketing. So there are different levers. So there is acquisition, retention, there is platform because lots of apps exist these days, and there's loyalty. So these are levers under growth marketing. So I sort of took care of this entire journey and wishes for users. So a lot of my peers actually are MBAs, and my career was progressing very well. But I took a conscious call to actually get my MBA earlier rather than later, because in the startup ecosystem, a lot of VCs essentially invest in organizations looking at the profile of your leadership, and it is essential, for candidates to essentially have an MBA. It is a prerequisite. Additionally, it gives me sort of a holistic experience. So I'm very, driven and focused on building a strong foundation. So I want to ensure that I have my foundations right, because so that's why I took a step back.
Now, thank you for these lovely answers. Great experience. I can already see you bringing to the table, which is also a learning experience for all the Great Lakes students who've come here, I'm sure. Now, when I entered the campus, I found out that PGPM 2.0 is what Great Lakes is offering, and it is actually a very new industry-oriented curriculum now that you have at Great Lakes Chennai. I was looking at the specializations. You have 7 specializations, right?
Right.
So Great Lakes Chennai now has 7 specializations PGPM program. 3 are the regular functional specializations, which are finance, marketing, operations, but they also have few core specializations which are very industry relevant, which are the roles that you want to get into, which are consulting, data science, business analytics, and product management. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know that these are the roles that people want to get into. These are new age roles. So if you get these taught in B schools as specializations, there's nothing like it. So tell us about which specializations you are doing. So they do 2 majors. So each of them are doing 2 majors. We'll talk to us about these 2 majors. And how have you been benefited by it, and how have you been taught, in short?
So my specializations are marketing and business analytics. So based on what background I came from, I picked business analytics because I came from a very core data oriented role where I used to work a lot with ETL, and the skill of inferring from data is something which is very basic, and that's something that I wanted to take forward. So I had to go with it. Now, how does Great Lake bridge that skill gap? I'll tell you an anecdote where we have external visiting faculties who's teaching us BA, and he was actually quite surprised because he had to cancel an entire session for the basics because we were already up to speed. So my core terms were already covering up that skill gap in terms of BA, where we didn't need an external session on how to handle Python or data. So that's something that Great Lakes, that's like a feedback mechanism, right? When an external faculty is giving you that feedback, okay, you guys are up to speed. I thought that they're getting something right.
When you say external faculty, these are industry professionals.
Yes, industry professionals.
Okay. For example, could you give a few examples for the viewers? Their roles, maybe.
One specific instance that I'd like to highlight is when we had 4 MDs from Accenture visiting us to run a workshop on consulting. And the requirement was quite simple. They wanted to know how well prepared we are for the role. So they had us group into teams, and we were supposed to present. So that's something that Great Lakes is already doing, right? They're evaluating your industry preparedness, they identify, and then they are trimming the course according to the requirements. So I believe that is the right approach.
So Accenture is also one of the regular recruiters at the Great Lakes PGPM program. It's been coming for a long time. I've been tracking, and talking about placements for people who want to know, Great Lakes PGPM had an average salary of around 17 lakhs for the last batch. The incoming average salary is around 6 lakhs, which is not less, but even then people are getting around 3x of their incoming salaries, which is a great output of people who want to measure it by that angle. Now talk to us, let me know about your specializations and what have been your experiences with the curriculum.
So my major here is operations and marketing. Just now our 4th term has started, and we've just got a visiting faculty, Professor Badrinath, who's come from very relevant industry experience teaching us service operations management. And what a great guy to have to learn from. He has experience in Airbus, his experience in Toyota. He was handpicked for Salesforce. So a great guy to learn from all over. And operations, I feel like, is a great addition to me because I come from a civil engineering background and it's very project and operations related. So I think it's adding a lot of great value. And on the other hand, I've chosen marketing because I feel like my creativity will be very well used in a marketing concentration. That's the same reason why I chose civil engineering, because I wanted to design, I wanted to create new stuff. I feel like I'm fitting really well in here with these two majors, really adding value to me.
Great. Raksha, I'm assuming marketing must be one of your specializations.
Yeah, marketing and product management are my two.
Tell us something about tell us about these. Product manager is one of the most sought after roles.
Yeah. So I think at the PGPM program at Great Lakes, it is their flagship program. What they're trying to do, especially this time around, is they are trying to ensure that the course is very industry relevant and very close to the industry. So the product management specialization is fully designed and driven by industry professionals from PayPal. So a lot of our alumni are in PayPal. A lot of senior leadership from PayPal, come and teach us for product management. And I don't think I've ever seen a B school do this, where you actively involve industry professionals driving the entire course. So I think product management is something special about product management at Great Lakes is this.
So the entire product management course has been designed by PayPal.
PayPal as well as lecturers and teachers from Great Lakes. But it's fully driven by folks from PayPal.
Perfect.
There are certain courses that has come to our advantage. Like we had a very innovative program for innovation. It was called a sandbox. So the idea is that although there's an expectation that when you get into a role or industry, you have an expectation from the leadership that you'll come bring something from, I don't know, it's like pulling out a rabbit from the hat sort. But nobody really tells us how to innovate. Like what is it? What are the steps that you should take to really capture people's imagination and like take a step back. So we had this lab that was dedicated for innovation, and we had an external faculty coming in, and it might sound very mundane, but we were creating clay models, or we were asked to come up with certain identify something in the society, just do it on chart paper. It felt like being an art student for a while, and he said it's very essential for you to just douse on those nerves where your creativity is going to expand. So I think Great Lakes is trying to balance it. Like for me personally, I think we have a very experiential program, like something like Karma Yoga. So Karma Yoga is okay, let me tell you about Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is that we would pick villages from nearby. So we have around 27 villages. I am one of those committee members. So my village is called as Vengambakam. And the expectation is that students will indulge in with villages nearby, where we will teach them something related to the art of making money. So, for example, something that happened was we would provide them raw materials to create candles, and we'll provide them the raw materials, and they would actually go on manufacturing the product. And then we'll buy it from them, and we actually include this in our hamper. So it's something like we are teaching them the art of making money. So that's something that I believe, right?
Yeah, and beyond MBA and traditional MBA. Right. Great. Okay. Now I'll ask a few questions which viewers have about Great Lakes Chennai, and I've always wanted to come to this campus to ask these questions. But it's the first time I'm coming to this campus. Lovely campus. I think you're the best school in Chennai. If not one of the best, if not the best B schools in Chennai. So first of all, tell us about this fact that you guys had decided that you want to do a 1-year MBA. My question is, does a 1-year span actually equip you with all that is needed to be an MBA professional? Is it sufficient? If yes, is it also manageable? How you guys are able to manage this hectic stress of a 1-year MBA?
So I think a 1-year MBA is fast-tracked. It is very fast-paced. But for industry professionals who have relevant experience, who have, for example, I have 3.5 years of experience, for me to do a 2-year MBA seems very time-consuming. Right? So in that sense, a 1-year MBA makes a lot of sense. And when you do an MBA after relevant work experience, you take more out of it, is at least my personal opinion. So, and in a 1 year MBA, of course, there's lots of things that will be taught. It is fast paced. I think it is sufficient, and of course, for every working professional, the entire career journey is a learning experience. So you learn throughout, but a lot of fundamentals are taught in the PGPM program in the first 3 core terms, and post that you sort of get into your specialization.
How many terms are there on that note, if I...
So the PGPM 2.0, it has 7 terms.
Over a period of exactly how many months?
12 months.
12 months, okay.
Yeah. So 7 terms in 12 months. Each term is about 6-7 weeks. And the first 3 terms are your core terms where it's all the fundamentals are covered. And then you sort of get into your specialization area, which has just started for us. So mine, like I said,
Tell me more about life at Great Lakes PGPM. Do you also get time to do live projects? What are the other, apart from this curriculum, how is life at Great Lakes PGPM? I'm asking because I'm assuming you will be short on time. So how is life when it comes to committees or live projects or corporate competitions if you engage with them?
So there are committees, there are clubs available for everybody's interest. So I am a part of one of the committees, which is DSLC, which is Dean Student Leadership Circle. So we focus on initiatives on self-expression, sustainability, mental health, and those areas. And beyond that, in terms of live projects which are closer to industry, we have empirical studies, which are studies outside the regular curriculum. You work with, again, industry professionals or current business problem statements. For example, I'm working on something which is related to user churn, which a lot of companies face where, users are lapsing from their platform, right? So how that can be tracked, how you can proactively ensure that users don't churn from your platform. So I'm working with a lot of startups to, help them with this. So that is how also.
So how do you manage the time? Could you tell us a day in a life? Yeah, like could you, for a very viewer who wants to have an idea, how's a day in a life? What time do you wake up and what time do you sleep? And how's a day look like in Great Lakes?
So let's just say that hustling is what we do. So there is no regular format that I wake up 6 a.m. in the morning. No, it doesn't work that way. Maybe you might be working till 4 a.m. for an assignment submission, and then you have to be in class for an 8:30 session.
Mm-hmm.
So hustling is something that happens here because it's a fast track program. But at the same time, for me, like I want to highlight this because I did an analysis of a 2-year program and I understand it is quite spaced out. And for somebody with relevant experience, we don't really need an internship journey.
Yeah.
So that's definitely there. But I have to admit it is hustling. You wake up, you have a class, and then you might have a meeting for your club, and then you'll have to meet your mentor for your empirical study. So it's hustling all over. But then I think Great Lakes is teaching us that lesson of handling ambiguity, because hustling is
absolutely.
From my previous experience as well, hustling is what we do, and if you can structure hustling, bingo.
In life and in corporate, hustling is what you do.
Yes.
Tell us about your accommodation. I'll ask you. You've come from the United States, so tell us, how do you feel about your accommodation? Are you actually happy?
So my expectations were exceeded by the accommodations that I have here. Single rooms, very spacious, and AC, of course. We have Sodexo workers working all around the clock. They come in and clean our rooms for us. We don't even have to vacuum ourselves. Wow. Then there are amenities inside the hostel block. We have got pool rooms, table tennis. There's a gym that's 24/7. Then a lot of sports, also football, cricket. There's a huge ground, you might have seen. Also, the location is very close to each other. So the mess, the hostel, and the academic block, they're also close. I don't waste any time commuting, basically. So all that time that I need to work on my stuff is not going to waste from randomly going to one block to the other. So the experience of living, because it's a residential program, it's very optimized. So I really like that about it.
Wow, that's a great answer, because it's a vast campus, a 32-acre campus, and despite that, he's saying that it's very optimized, the locations and the commute within the campus. Great.
So that's the life inside the campus. That's where we stay. But if you want to go out, there's Sheraton here that we often frequent. There's Mahabalipuram beaches. There's shacks. There are tons of there are temples here as well. Then a marketplace, really 1 kilometer down the road. So all your needs will be met. You want fruits, you want to go shopping, you want to have a little chill evening out on the beach or an early morning swim. You can do all of it here. 15 minutes to Mahabalipuram is way too close than I would have liked it to be.
So location-wise, Great Lakes Chennai, I mean, being in Chennai gives you an added advantage of all the connectivity, and you're near the beach, so you're getting all the advantage that you get in terms of campus. It has a beautiful beach. You have beautiful beaches on the way. So after a hectic day, if you want to just spend some time with tranquility, it's right there. And also the fact that you're in Chennai, it's not even far from, it's not a tier 2 city like all the other probably other B schools are in. You get all the added advantages of what you should get of being in a metro city. Now talk to us about placements. The fact that you're doing specializations in these great areas like business analytics and data science. How do you think you're equipped for placements? And what are different parts of the curriculum that is helping you most in terms of placement, and what are the kind of placements roles that you're expecting, or the salary bands that you're expecting, if you will also throw some light on that?
So a lot of people here are from IT, and since I'm not, they looked at what I was lacking and really helped me achieve it. If they were not handing it to me, they at least showed me the path that I could take. I want to go into business ops or consulting type of role, and for that, I felt like I wasn't prepared at all. After going through their advice and their mentorship, I felt like I didn't know anything before. So that's how big of an impact it has on me, these mentorship programs. Even the academic mentorship programs, they help me choose my major, align my strengths with what I can offer to the industry and how I can add value to myself and the industry or the company that I go to. So that is something very new to me, and honestly, I feel like this is one of the great things about Great Lakes.
So from the placement perspective, there's different steps before you get a job, right? So first is of course your CV. So how you sort of design your CV, how it should look, what are the skills you should put in. There is training that goes into that at Great Lakes. Post that, there are sometimes some companies do have group discussions. So there has been communication, debates and group discussion sessions and training that we've also had. Post that comes your personal interview. So how you should, and there's limited time. You have limited time to make an impression to recruiters. So how you sort of portray yourself and what story you say to the recruiter. There is a lot of intense training we get. All of this is done by industry professionals. So for example, I want to get into product management. So my mentor is from PayPal, who's a product manager, also an alum from Great Lakes. So he has sort of reviewed my entire, journey from CV to personal interview, what my conversation should look like.
So every student is assigned a
Every
mentor.
student has a relevant industry mentor. Also, there is a mentor on campus who is one of the faculty. This is a little more on a personal and academic side of it. So, like I said, the course is rigorous. It is hectic. So, this mentorship sort of helps some students handle the entire course, because some people are able to keep up and perform really well, and some people might need some additional help.
Yeah.
So this mentorship program is also there to assist people and in general to guide people with different subjects. Because some subjects can be new for me and some subjects might be relatively easier. So the mentorship program also helps.
Great. I'm going to end this lovely podcast that I had with you guys with one question which everyone wants to know. Why should someone join the one-year program of Great Lakes Chennai?
I think the answer is quite multifaceted. There are multiple takeaways.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with how Great Lakes is very industry ready. Because we've been looking at JDs quite often, and something like Gen AI or AI is something that is very frequent in every JD. And the way Great Lakes is prioritizing how these skills should be imparted, because we had recently had an AI session, a workshop. It was by the director of Sigma. So the way they are prioritizing and ensuring that by the time my student gets to the interview, he should not get bogged down by the interviewer for not knowing how to operate Gen AI, or prompting is an art right now. So that's what I feel. So the way they prioritize us and how we should, stand foot tall when we are being thrown a bunch of data.
True.
So that is my takeaway, because they really care for our career.
Great. You mean, in short, n- n- with the job descriptions which are there in the market out right now, Great Lakes fits in with
Yeah.
preparing you to those job descriptions and the careers which are
Yeah.
meant for the future.
And they're quite often updating themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And that disruption, right? I mean, we learn strategy, right? You constantly have to keep disrupting yourself to stay up with the game.
Great.
Very, very true. With so you're constantly updating yourself, and then you are getting an edge on others who are not doing this. Because once you get out of B school and once you get a job, you do some training work. But after coming here and doing the course, and also the additional sessions that we do with other mentors and guest speakers and visiting industry professionals, you get so much knowledge about what's happening in the real world out there right now, that you are more prepared. So that gives you a competitive edge, basically. I think that is a great thing to have. Anything that gives you an advantage, I think you should accept that with like open arms.
True.
We were talking about AI, right? I think a lot of people get scared as soon as you listen to AI.
Yeah.
And I think outside of Great Lakes, before, if some role was, for example, in growth marketing itself, if it was for a software as a service company, I would have gotten a little bit scared. But now that, after Great Lakes, I know that AI is not something to be scared of. It is actually a resource, and how
Yeah.
you should use this resource
absolutely.
is actually very simple. So I think what I like about the course here is that it is very industry ready, in the sense that I know 5 years from now these are the skills that are going to be valued, and somebody who does not have knowledge in that area is also able to upskill themselves to stay relevant, right? So it gives us an opportunity to do that. For example, at in my product management course, we are encouraged to use ChatGPT, and we are graded on how good our prompt is in ChatGPT. So that is how I think ahead of time, the program is here. There can be, I think it's taken the values of a traditional program, but also staying very relevant to the current industry.
And you know what? For the viewers who are looking for a campus life, right, I can vouch that you would not be disappointed, right? Because, like, personally, if you are an adrenaline junkie, right, if you like jumping from one event to the other, I think Great Lakes is a great place to start off with.
Why do you say that? What do you mean?
Okay, let me give you an example. Imagine I have a session from 8:30. I have a class, morning class, and then right away I might jump into a CCA session, which might be preparing me for my placements. From there, I might want to have a stress relief, and I might just hit off to the beach and watch a amazing sunset.
Yeah.
But then I have to be on the clock, right? We can do this in the next 30 minutes, and I have to come back. Then I'll have to meet my mentor, where I will seek some specific guidance on my empirical program. So then hustling round the clock is always there, and the campus is 24/7 active, right? I think we mostly see people around at 4 a.m. in the morning,
Wow.
and that's an experience that everybody should go through.
Great.
Is what I believe. So your campus life will not be disappointing.
I think especially at PGPM, a lot of my peers here come with great work experience, very diverse work experience, right? So I get to learn from them as well. And like you said, I mean, the campus is always alive.
Yeah.
It can be stressful, a 1 year program, but everyone's going through it. It's sort of preparing me now, because if I'm able to handle this and living this kind of a dynamic lifestyle, when I'm going out and entering the industry, I think that would be a cakewalk for me. So.
Yeah, great point. A lot of things that I do in class where I don't catch it quite well. I've got so many friends here who I'm constantly spending time with, because I live with them and I know them so well now after 5 months into the program, that some of them or the other are good at something. So if, let's say, there's a concept that I missed in finance, I've got friends who can help me out, who can help others out. I can help them out in operations. Likewise, I've got friends. So we basically have each other's back, and we constantly try to help each other's, not just in studies, but hey, I have a interview coming up, or I have a please take my mock interview or help me prepare for a GD. No matter what it is, hey, I need to prepare for a volleyball game. Let's come watch my practice or help me practice. No matter what it is, they're there for you. You live with them. They're your family now.
Great,
It's
great.
great learning from them, helping them.
I think the official statement that most of the students go by is Great Lakers never sleep. So that's like a motto that we have. And if you're looking for that exciting life, please.
And now that you mention about motto, there's this one phrase that Dean Suresh mentioned in the orientation day, and I feel like it really stuck with me. He said, "Your network is your net worth," and because of that, I feel like I've like gone out of my way to like make friends, know people, and because now that I'm doing an MBA, network. My network matters more than compared to like when I did my engineering. Now, the more people I know,
True.
it's gonna benefit me.
True.
That too from diverse background, right? We're all experienced individuals, so that preference and reaching out to each other is something.
Yeah, there's your peer group,
Yeah.
then there is visiting faculty or permanent faculty, and there's industry professionals who come to train you. There's an entire like set of alumni
True.
who are doing very well for themselves now,
True.
and then their network they also connect you with.
True.
So
It's rightly said. They say that the first job you get वो आपको campus या आपके marks दिलाते हैं और उसके बाद second, third, fourth you get through your network. Right? So rightly said.
We bring the industry to the campus.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Great points, great answers, everyone. Guys, let me sum it up. I've been to a lot of B schools. Generally आप जब B schools में MBA करते हो, Indian MBA colleges से, तो आप बहुत case studies पढ़ते हो, वो इतने नए नहीं होते. The case studies are of good companies, but they are dated. मैं खुद IBM वगैरह के बहुत पुराने केस स्टडीज पढ़ा हूँ, सीखने को मिलता है, बट इतना न्यू करिकुलम जिसमें आप AI हर चीज़ में इंटीग्रेटेड है. अभी हमने कितना AI सुना, डेटा सुना, एनालिटिक्स सुना. These are all new age new things. These are all new age roles जिसमें आपको मिलते हैं. AI में काफ़ी roles आजकल मिल रहे हैं. प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट तो है ही. तो ये आपको ग्रेट लेक्स ऑफर करता है. इट प्रिपेयर्स यू फॉर न्यू एज रोल्स. इट प्रिपेयर्स यू फॉर द करंट इंडस्ट्री, and which is where it stands out, which is what I'm taking away from this podcast, from this discussion. आपके कुछ डाउट्स हैं तो मुझे कमेंट्स में पूछिए. ऑल द बेस्ट, स्टे सेफ एंड टेक केयर.